Hey everyone, how are you doing this great Sunday afternoon? So I just got through watching the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 9, and I think I got some answers. I got some answers as to the fallout between Candy, Phaedra, and Portia. Right now, the whole Portia and Candy thing, I'm not understanding that, but it just seems like Portia was attempting to get on the bandwagon for uh Phaedra. I was also trying to figure out why Phaedra was so angry at Candy. Now, from my perspective, it seems like Phaedra was angry at Candy for one, still being a source of outlet for Apollo. And what I mean by that is because Candy was married to Todd and Todd was friends with Apollo, through Candy, Todd used the platform to get Apollo's story out there. So when the whole thing was brought out that she was not helping or she was not going to visit, excuse me, she wasn't going to go visit Apollo in jail, and she wasn't taking the kids to go see Apollo. She had to do damage control and take the kids up there. And she also painted a picture of they were doing things that were inappropriate in the jail, which was an excuse for her not to go back. And the next time that she did go back was to I just thought about something, was to tell him that he was getting divorced, or she was filing for divorce, and the plan that was going to happen and all this stuff. The reason why, okay, before I forget, I believe that Phaedra schooled Portia on what to do about this whole anger management thing. When it first came back on, she went to an anger management session, and then she never went back. She was still uh, uh, miss. Well, I was gonna say acting buffoonery and really not focusing on her mental health. Um, but I find it coincidental that Phaedra went to the prison, something that she did not want to do twice, and also Portia went to the anger management thing twice. That could be reaching, or you know, just coincidental. But I believe that Phaedra was schooling Portia on what to do. She was pushing real hard for Portia to stay around because Portia was really her only ally. Everybody else was not necessarily, but most apparently on Apollo's side, even though he was in the wrong. The other thing that I was gonna say something else about that too. It's probably not gonna come back, but anyways, the other thing that I thought about was the fact that Phaedra said on Married to Medicine that the girls never supported her the girls never supported her in her marriage, as far as like never trying to help them stay together. And I'm just like, when I look back at it, I'm like, you never did talk to them about it. You were very secretive about it. And I'm gonna use the word that Candy used, very calculated about the situation. So how could they have helped you? And what, from my viewpoint, with the information that they did have, they definitely encouraged Phaedra to try to stay and try to work things out with her situation, keeping the kids involved, keeping Apollo involved with the kids. But it just seemed like Phaedra was being very vindictive towards Apollo. Now going back to the whole Candy thing and her platform being used to put Apollo's story out there. I feel like Phaedra wanted to create a narrative that Apollo was okay with them getting divorced and that he didn't really want to be in the picture anymore, to basically get him off the platform, to basically put him in the shadows as far as her being on the show. And continuously, time after time, Candy's platform was being used to push Apollo out and basically what's the word I'm looking for? Um I can't remember the word, but basically go against Phaedra's story. Oh, she said, it's really hard for us to get a divorce and everything. Apollo saying, well, she's telling me it's going to be on hold. She said, yeah, we are divorced. Apollo said, no, we're not divorced. I appealed it and the judge was in my favor, whatever, whatever, right? So, contradict, that's the word I was looking for. So, Apollo's story was contradicting hers, and she was trying to create a narrative that was not going well for her. Now, since it was not working as far as the narrative with Apollo, I do believe, I don't care what the feds may have told Cynthia, I do believe that Phaedra Phaedra called in, or put I'm sorry, my brain is so asleep. Basically gave them the info as far as where his belongings were, because I believe she was also mad at Cynthia as well. Now, my thing is to, like, how did you expect for them to check on your kids, come visit you, and all this stuff, which Scorpios are good for? Oh, I just want some emotional support, right? But for one, you were sitting out here dating other people, and like her whole personality, Phaedra's whole personality changed from the time that Apollo went to jail, and and she became freaking frack, right? Um, but how did you want them to support your kids and everything if you were not having open communication with people and you were closing people out, really? So I just don't understand her position with that, especially when she brought it up on Married to Medicine. And like I said, I didn't understand why. Well, what made me go back and watch the seasons was because I didn't understand why exactly. I couldn't remember exactly why Phaedra was kicked off the show. And then I'm not understanding why Candy's not coming back and why they putting Portia in the forefront of Housewives. Several things I have on my brain. I understood that Phaedra made up a lie about Candy that was detrimental to her brand, right? But I could not remember, like, the core of the situation. So that's why I wanted to go back. The other thing is Portia is a damn bird brain. Okay, let's just get deep down into it. Okay, Portia created. It automatically came up. But anyways, Portia created um this whole narrative that her and Candy had beef. And it was like Candy was very supportive of you, which I didn't understand. They even showed clips of her being supportive with her go naked. Oh, excuse me. I keep yawning. Her go naked hairline, her go naked lingerie and everything. And what else she got? She was very supportive with those two things and her singing career. And when they did that flashback of her singing, I was like, this is trash. And I was like, at the time, I was like, Candy, you really think that she can sing? She cannot sing. But that's just my opinion. Y'all put it in the comments. Y'all thought Flatline was it? Y'all thought that was a Grammy nominee? A BET award? um So I don't know where the beef came with Portia and Candy. It just came out of nowhere. I know Candy was feeling like a little iffy about Portia because she noticed that Portia is always sticking up for Phaedra and defending her nonsense. So she was like rubbed the wrong way about that. And that's understandable, right? That's your observation. It may not be true, but you're still observing it. But it was no real beef. Now, all of a sudden, it was, oh, I'm Team Phaedra and she don't need to be talking about you. And she mad. She needs to be worrying about her husband and all this stuff. The husband is the cause of y'all friendship and everything like this. And then saying like Candy's not being a real friend to you. She out here putting your business out there, like low key dry snitching. And it's just like, what is the purpose of this? What is the purpose of you coming in between friends and you're in the middle? Like you're friends with both of them. And it's like, did Phaedra low key is giving that they messed around, but what they say allegedly. Okay, I don't know, but that's the energy I'm getting because she going super hard, even against her childhood friend. It's like, girl, really? But I'm like, Candy benefited you more than Phaedra. Phaedra ain't did nothing for you but sit on the phone with you all day. I guess people's value is different. So let me just get to the point. Candy alludes to the fact that Phaedra was messing around with somebody before Apollo went to jail, dating, whatever it was. Somebody was in the picture, and she was not distraught the way she portrayed herself the season before. And Phaedra needed to stop dragging uh Todd's name through the mud. Speaking of a Todd, Phaedra Portia messed up that relationship she had with that guy Todd. I think he really would have been good for her. I said that on my last video. She messed that up with her baby nuptial, and the contract was was wild. She said, "Give me 50% of your paycheck to help take care of this baby." I'm just like, what? And then 35%, no. I think it was 50% to take care of her while she was pregnant, all expenses paid, and then 35% for the baby. So I'm like, that's 85% of his check, leaving him with only 15 to himself. Like, what delusional land do you live on where you really asking a man for 85% of his check? It should be realistic, logical savings. Like, I know it's hard to save in this economy today, but it's just like, yeah, it should be savings and putting things away to buy things for the child. But it's like, no, she wasn't. And I said she messed that all the way up for me. I could see why he didn't want to be with her anymore. Um, that's my thought process on it. I'm glad, they didn't work out. I feel bad for her. I'm wondering, did she give that baby nuptial to Dennis, and did he sign it like a delulu? Because he looked like he'll sign it. But anyways, like he was gonna take something for her. Like, girl, please. Um, Portia was so slow to me that she allowed herself to be used by Phaedra. Like, the fact that that whole thing with Apollo happened, and she was mad. Phaedra was mad that Candy contradict her story and holding his stuff and all these things, right? And then also being supportive of him seeing his children after he committed a heinous crime or whatever. She was she had her panties in a bunch. So she wanted, to me, she wanted to get back at Candy for allowing that, for doing those things, for even calling her out on those things. She could have been held accountable for what she didn't want to do. So she started scheming, and she started talking about, what she started talking about. Let me see. Was she talking about Candy? It was, oh yeah, she was saying that Candy was sleeping around with women and Shamia and all this stuff, and Shamia sleep around with everybody's husband and all this stuff. And then mind you, Shamia got engaged like a couple of weeks after that allegation. It's just like, girl, is she out here sleeping with other people's husband? Because Shamia gives me a good time. Shamia gives me like free hearted spirit, like good energy. Okay, I couldn't hang out with her, but I think her energy is amazing, right? And in loyalty to a fault. Um, so Phaedra was so busy trying to stir the pot and create this narrative to get the the view off of her and her situation Because again, I believe she was trying to push Apollo to the back end and create a different story. She probably would have brought out a new man had things not gone the way it did. But then my whole thing was, like, Portia, why would you allow her to speak about Shamia, your childhood friend, in that manner and not say anything? It was just like, yeah, like a deer in the headlight. Like, what's wrong with you, girl? Were you choking on your spit? Was there a tea in your mouth? It was just like, what? And it didn't even sound confident. And then once you saw her creating a lie about your own friend, your real friend, why would you then believe her about anything else? Because you ain't never heard, I don't believe Portia ever heard any rumors, any whispers about Candy and Shamia sleeping together. So for her to corroborate Phaedra's story is asinine to me. Um then once Candy confronted her, what was Candy confront? What were they confronting each other about? I think they had fell out about something. They got okay. So everybody was asking Portia about her anger management thing, and she got defensive. And even at the reunion, she was like, it was okay for Kenya to ask me, but then I got defensive when she started asking me if I take pills and if I'm gonna be if I'm gonna be in the psych ward or some shit like that. I don't remember, but she got upset. But I'm like, no. Kenya said, "Hey, we were supposed to go to that whole little a maze thing or whatever. I don't know what that game is called, but you were supposed to explain to us your progress during the whole little game thing." And that's what Phaedra told me. And even then, you saw Phaedra lying and still chose to believe her after she was like, "I didn't say that." And Phaedra was like, "Oh well, I I think Phaedra again wanted Kenya to come so that the narrative, the story would not be on her and Apollo, the whole situation about Apollo, because she was scheming in the background to try to play him. Now, at the reunion, she said she paid him $100,000. I don't know if that was before he appealed it or after he appealed it. I believe he probably thought he deserved more than 100,000 because I believe that she was making millions on the show, and if it wasn't for him, she really wouldn't have been on the show like that. So, anyways, um, so that Kenya and Portia could have friction, whatever the case may have been, but she definitely used lies and persuasion to get Kenya to go. And when she was confronted about it, she backpedaled and was like, I didn't say that or whatnot. And Portia didn't close her mouth. it then. She just got upset at the person who she disliked the most. And Portia had her thinking cap on, she would I'm thinking so ahead that I can't even get my words out. If she would have been using her observation skills as well, she would have clocked the body language and the stammering of her words. And I wouldn't believe nothing coming out of Phaedra's mouth after that. Because you not only have you lied before about Mr. Chocolate, they said that Portia took the picture that Apollo showed, but you're also lying on me. That's a problem. So when she didn't clock that, she still was on Phaedra's side. It was sad to me. Like I said, it's like a wounded deer just got hit by a damn bus or something. Just ran over. Okay. Um. So Portia's using all this energy to be mad at. Oh, okay, that's what I was saying. At Kenya, so Candy tries to de-escalate and say, okay, well, how about you stop talking, Kenya? I'll ask her, and I'm not gonna be nasty about it. So Candy just asked her the same question: how is it going? How's anger management going? And she still was like, bitch, I ain't gotta tell you nothing. That's the energy it was given. And even Cynthia tried to chime in and say, well, how is it going? I ain't got to tell you nothing. But at the reunion, she claimed that she was very open and transparent, which she did. So she basically cussed everybody out, and Candy had to get up because it looked like, I don't know, I'm gonna be honest, from my point of view, it looked like Candy was a little nervous that she was gonna have to pop somebody or get popped, because Portia's a little bigger than her, but it don't mean that she gonna whoop anybody. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna just leave it alone, okay? Because I like Candy. I was glad that Candy walked away because, again, her brand is more important. I like when people deal with difficult situations in a adult manner. She basically, what was I gonna say? She basically didn't catch what that whole situation with Phaedra. Then she blows up Candy phone, wants to meet with her, wants to talk to her about what happened, and I guess apologize. I don't know what the whole point of meeting up was, but it turned left. And I didn't even see this during the scene. I didn't see Portia say, and I heard that you was trying to drug me and take me to a sex dungeon, or to your sex dungeon. I don't know if they said her sex dungeon or a sex dungeon. But I'm like, girl, Cynthia was in the sex dungeon, okay? She was in the basement. Where would this sex dungeon be? Like, a dungeon is in the basement, the lower basement. So I'm like, Cynthia was down there, and it was no sex dungeon. It was a sex dungeon. So I'm like, girl, you was in the sex dungeon. Okay? She was in the sex dungeon. And I was like, girl, sex toys, no strips, no whips, nothing. It was a bed. It looked like a fly. It looked better than a hotel. So I'm not understanding where is this room at, and the cameras go through all the rooms. So where would this damn dungeon be? They went through both of the houses. Like, it's crazy. And I'm gonna just move on from there. So they go to a trip. Candy Todd takes all the girls, and Todd brings some of the guys to Hawaii, Maui, and it's brought up again, and you can see the tension. And again, Phaedra brings Portia why? To keep the story off of her. Because if Portia wasn't there, what was they gonna talk about? They was gonna talk about Apollo and ask her how's the divorce going. Have you went to go see him again? How come you ain't went to go see him again? It would have been on those lines, like along those lines. But because she brought Portia and it's already intensified, it's like throwing gasoline on the fire. And so you can see Candy's energy, like she was cool, and then she saw Portia, and then she got irritated. She tried to get up, throw some water on her face and relax and come down. But then you seen her face scrunched up, real irritated, waiting for somebody to hit they beat. I think somebody said, if it wasn't funky, somebody said hit that beat, and it was Sheree, the bone carrier, and she was like, yeah. So do you guys want to talk about it so we can have a good time on the trip? And then Candy brings out the text messages, and it's like Portia was the the suspect. Okay, she was the predator. That's the word. Candy used aggressor. I'm saying predator because she used the R word. Like, she said she was gonna do that to Candy, even if it was in a playful way. Like, that's not nothing to joke about. And it was years ago. But anyways, as sensitive as the world is today, I don't think none of that stuff that was said at that time would have been acceptable today. It's almost 10 years, but okay. And Portia continued to keep the line, to keep going along with the story that Candy would have done that to her, would have done those Bill Cosby things to her. And she never retracted. She was like, I'm sticking to the story and I'm not moving away. And then even when she saw Candy talking to Phaedra, and Phaedra was like, also, I wouldn't even say a deer in the headlight. That heifer was like a shark smelling blood. Like, she was enjoying. She was like, right. And I'm just like, Portia, you don't see her not saying, but you don't remember telling, like, she ain't did nothing to you. doing none of that stuff. I just don't understand what Portia was thinking. Like, she don't understand body language and observation. She would, and then I'm like, why none of that stuff that she was talking about at the reunion? Why none of that stuff was on camera? Talk about, oh, why was Candy talking to you about such and such? Why was Candy talking to you? Why didn't she? Why would Candy say those things? You told me Candy said it and all this stuff, but we never saw you say it on camera. When we saw you on camera, it was like Phaedra was the only one talking about something that was irrelevant. I think she was talking about the text messages that she sent that Portia sent. And it was like, no, let's talk about who told you that. And if it was Phaedra, why are you not talking about it on camera? Like, Phaedra, why is she over there talking about she didn't say it? When did she pull up the call, something, do something? But it wasn't until the reunion that Portia decided to come out of the bag with, oh, Phaedra, you the one that told me. Bitch, what? The whole season you decided to keep that to yourself? Not one time did you decide, oh, I was being loyal friend. That's why I'm just like, I believe they both cooked up that storyline. I believe they both cooked it up. And I believe both of them don't need to be on the show. My whole issue with it though, my whole issue with it, I'm gonna tell you this. My whole issue with Portia and Phaedra being back on the show is Bravo, Andy Cohen stated, we do not condone violence, right? But you condone false accusations. That's what is given to me. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying that's their position. But to me, from my viewpoint, if you will allow somebody to lie on somebody about SA and RAP, is it RP? I don't know. Yeah. It's like, why would you allow? And those incidents are very sensitive to some of your viewers, if not majority of them. And you just sweep it under the rug like, oh, that's cool. And then they brought it up at the reunion too to Phaedra, like your track record is da 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 da. No, I mean, I feel for Phaedra because she has kids to raise and take care of and everything, and they almost there. But my thing is, after which there's consequences for your actions. And I don't believe she deserves to be on the show. Let me just get to the point. I don't believe Phaedra deserves to be on the show. I don't believe Portia deserves to be on the show because she continued going along with the story. It wasn't like she had no idea what was going on. She knew exactly what was going on. She witnessed Phaedra lie multiple times and decided to believe the narrative about her. I can't. Not one time did she cry at that reunion. She brought them fake crocodile tears after the fact. After Kenya called her out and said, I don't see no tears. And then she started bringing the waterworks. And then I don't like how she was treating Shamia when Shamia was trying to be a supportive friend. Talk about just be quiet. Just be here. Don't say nothing. Girl, who boo why? What? But then when her sister came, she ain't talking about be quiet, nothing. Because I know her sister was sitting there while she was on the phone and witnessed everything, but it was like, we're grown. Like, there's no excuses as to why Portia didn't recognize Phaedra was lying. And it's like she had it on a piece of paper. She saw Candy write that crap. It's like she had no evidence to support her claim, but she decided to believe the evidence, believe whatever was given to her. It's like really sad. It's really sad. So I hope Portia don't come back. Like I said, they can bring Shamia back. I even thought about it because when I was watching it, some other people came to mind. They can bring Shamia, Angela, Nene. They need to work that crap out. Okay, work it out. Nene, Candy, uh, who else did I say? Oh man, I forgot. Mm. Mm. Let me tell you something. Monique, what's her name? Candy's friend, Mo. Mo could come back too. Like the list is that they're married as well. Let's not forget. These people are married. I definitely want Marlo to come back. She was a great addition. Oh, I was saying Kim Fields. I wanted Kim Fields to come back. She's a nice